talking about mind reset. It's such an important one. But before we go into that, I would like to speak briefly, just briefly, about my guest. Um, his name is Dr. Osho Ademola Joel. He's a seasoned entrepreneur, he's a coach, he's a lecturer, is also a researcher with over a decade of experience spanning through banking, agriculture, consulting, and project management. He's the CEO of Supritech.com and a leading partner at SuperFarm. He's managed over 14 acres of farmland, dedicated to sustainable agriculture. He holds an MSc in business management from Oak Kong Baptist University and is currently a researcher at Glasgow Caledonia University, United Kingdom, focusing on women empowerment and digital innovation in the global south. He is a part of the University of Utah's Master of Business Creation Program, United States, where he's incubating a venture on affordable roofing solutions and alternative financing model for low-income earners. He's always been very passionate about low-income earners, and I really have to commend that. He serves as a volunteer facilitator with Faith Foundation on Design Thinking, is a judge, is a mentor with Tony Illumini Foundation and MIT's for Global Challenge in the United States. It's more than all of this, but like I mentioned, I'm just trying to mention few about who he is. And aside this, is a friend. And please just with a digital applause, let me welcome my guest. Thank you so much again, Joel, for coming tonight. And like I said, is going to be speaking about mindset. I'll just leave my questions for now because I want him to speak as much as he can about mind reset. Like I mentioned in some of my posts, a lot of things that you and I believe that we can do is about our mindset. And a lot of things that we believe that we also cannot do is still about our mindset. So it means that mindset is everything. So I just leave the floor for you, Joel. Expatiate, because whatever it is that you want us to know about mindset, we'll be here to know it. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Abose. So
Yeah.
can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can, very clearly.
Okay. I'm going to start with a short story.
Okay.
In 2017, that was the no between 2015, 16, 17. Those 3 years were the most difficult years of my life. And this little mobile that dropped a message was also part of that journey. At that time, I was at the low end of my life and I was looking for solution. I applied to different organizations. I was working with different companies, a roofing company, a food processing company, and the rest of them like that. But one day, I decided to read Think and Grow Rich. So I had it in my library that year. I've read it before, but I decided to go back again to read it in detail. That was how I was able to pick something. And then I decided to seclude myself. I was away from social media. I was away from all the noise all around. I decided to search inward. And I realized that that year I was shortchanging myself. People that I've worked with, whether in a multinational company or um, one man business, once I go into their business, things change for good. In fact, there was a time, this particular word behind me, there was a time I I was part of a team. We moved the project from 200 million to about 1 billion that year. And I told myself, I think I'm better than this. I think I work more than this. And that was where the soul searching started from. So that year, I learned that I could achieve more than what I was achieving that time. And I made up my mind to change the story around. So in 2017, I registered my company. And I was so keen that I would get my first clients. I didn't have a friend. Most of my friends, they left Nigeria. Most of them have traveled to the US. So the most of the friends that I had were just e-friends and we're not that close. But I made up my mind and I believed strongly in my mind that something would happen. So it was just like a spark. I registered a company in November 17, maybe November 17 or 28. Can't recollect. I got my first project in December 2017, that same year, the first project. And I got that same year, I got a second project in 2017. By 2018, I got I got into Faith Foundation program that year. So the first thing I did was this. I within me believed I can get anything that I wanted. That was the first decision of my life. That was the first decision that I made. That I could get anything. You cannot achieve greatness in life
Mm.
if you begin to self-doubt yourself. I've
Yeah.
consulted with people, I've interacted with people, even those ones that could create mountain, that could create something very great in life. By the time you speak with them,
Mm.
you will sense that they are limiting themselves by their perception, by their thinking, and by their mindset. There was a story that came to mind. There was a man who drew a circle around ants. And that ant was inside that circle for a very long time, just trying to merry-go-round. In the mind of the ant, that cycle was like a block, and the ant was confined into that cycle for a very long time. The same way, we always see life as something that cannot be achieved, as something that we see life like we can't achieve greatness in there. And then we believe that certain opportunities are meant for certain people. And that's the first problem. When you believe that you don't worth something, that you are not
Yeah.
qualified for something, it will limit you. No matter the effort you put in there to achieve that thing thereafter, the first thing your mind tells you is what you're going to do. So let me give you an example. Maybe there is a job, they are looking for certain qualification, and then you believe that because you don't have that qualification, you merit all the job descriptions, everything. But the only thing is they are looking for one certificate and you don't have that certificate. And because of that, within you, you believe if you apply, you will never get that job. Now, your body, your spirit, your soul, the universe will agree with you. Even if you want to then try to apply, there will be something that will hold you back. And that's how the world, and that's how the world works. But if you look at it and feel like you can achieve this thing, you can get this job, the worst that would happen is they will tell you within 1 year of joining us or within 2 years of joining us, you must ensure that you get this certification done. That could be an agreement between you and them. And then if you apply, the worst that will happen is they will tell you no. But because you've already looked at yourself that you cannot even, oh, you don't qualify,
Mm.
you're right there, you've knocked yourself out. Even if you apply eventually, that self doubt overrides every possibility that
Everything.
could happen. Everything. Self doubt is the first thing that I was able to take out of my mindset, out of my thinking. That was the first thing. So I started attaining, I started pursuing greater things. Okay. So I said, if this person could achieve this, then I can. And then I also within me believe that even if I'm not qualified for something, I can always get people to hold me by the hands and then lead me in the right path that I should go. So that year, I made up my mind. I said, I want to travel abroad. I looked at all the games, all the possibilities. It was zero. Because by the time you consider the money,
Yeah.
the documentations, I was definitely not qualified. I've applied to different countries. Bayo was one of the key persons that was trying very hard for me to move out of the country that year. I knew I carried something, and I knew that I can't leave Nigeria. Even if I'm out of Nigeria, I'm still part of Nigeria. That was the mindset I had. So that year, I made up my mind that I would get something. So there was a friend of mine. While I was doing that, the next thing that I did was I made it visual. So I created a visual expression of my thought. So on
Mm.
the wall, even as I'm sitting now, I have a wall, I have a board just in front of me. So I placed my decision that I'm going to get a scholarship and it's going to be fully funded. And then I will enjoy every process,
Yeah.
every journey.
Yes.
So I placed it on the wall and I was at home. Then a friend of mine then sent me a message. It was a WhatsApp broadcast. That would be the first and the last time that I ever got a message like that for that purpose. So my friend sent me a message and it was a list of scholarships. So I was going through it. Then I spotted one. I said, let me check this one out. I checked it. I said, okay, I think I could be qualified. And I applied. I was invited. We had a talk. And the person on the board said, you already have what we're looking for. And what was that? They said, oh, you have a business. I said, I do. You have a company, registered company. Do you have the certificate? I said, I do. And that was it. And I was looking at my board and I was smiling. So, okay, if I can achieve this, then I think I can achieve better things.
No.
Then I used to help people to set up factory, but I was saying who would pay me the kind of money that I was looking for. So on my wall, I placed I placed certain amount of money on the wall. In all sincerity, I was not qualified for that kind of money. Where on here, I would have said, but let me just keep it. But definitely it was like a seven figure. In fact, it was like eight figures. So who's going to pay me? Then a friend of mine invited me and said, don't forget, I placed it on the wall. So I got to that point where I believe nothing is impossible. Like it does not matter, even if I encounter any challenge in between that process, it doesn't matter. What matters is I want this thing and I'm going to get it. And that was the rule. That was the term, the rule of the term. Now, for you as an individual, if you want to really attain success and greatness,
Yeah.
you have to get to that point of no return. There is no diminishing return if you really want to get what you want. Now, it's like a seed. It's like a seed. Sometimes even in Christendom and Islam, people go to church, people go to mosque, and then even in the middle of the night, people wake up, they begin to pray.
Yeah.
Now, while you are praying, the question I usually ask people is, this prayer, do you believe it? And they will say, I believe the prayer. This same set of people will come back later and begin to complain. The way God has created the universe, the way the universe operates, it doesn't listen to complaints.
Mm.
As a matter of fact, you need to know that the way the world is wired, it is stubborn in a way that it is not meant to give you good things. You will have heard the story, the analogy of the world is wicked, the world is evil. The world is actually evil and is wicked. And the only thing the world is capable easily to give to anyone is evil, is wickedness. Now, the only way to change that perspective is to demand. Those who attain greatness, those who really
Mm.
achieve and fulfill destinies are people who are bold enough. to ask questions. There are people who are bold enough to reject evil. There are people who are bold enough to say, no, this is my stand, and they stand by it. Now, the mistake people make is why they are confessing in church or in prayer stand, they are saying, I want this, I want to achieve this. The world is right there listening to you and begin to wait for you to complain.
Okay.
You that you
Mm.
have gone there to pray and then you say you believed. Then the next thing is you are back and then you are beginning to worry and say, I don't know how my life is. Can I actually achieve it? Now, immediately that self doubt comes in, the word say, well, you were supposed to maintain that frequency. And the frequency is, I want this and I'm going to get it. Until you get to the point of that stubborn addiction of demanding your greatness, nothing is going to happen.
Never.
In fact, the
Wow.
success you are achieving now is just because of the ruggedness of your faith and your belief system. What you achieve is as a result of the ruggedness, that part where you believe. Now, to go above certain level of your frequency of your success, it demands you to be stubborn, to be unflinching, to be so, you know, fixated to that demand. Now, once you get to that point that you deserve all good things, you deserve greatness, and you believe it and you act it, you don't need to worry about how those things will come by. Somehow, somebody will post it on WhatsApp status. If you don't see that solution on WhatsApp status, you will see it in a group. If you don't see it
Mm.
in a group, somebody will hand it over to you and say, this thing, I think you are going to need it. Somehow, the universe will know how to deliver it to you. So then when I saw that, I got excited. I was able to move out of the country. Now the funniest thing was this: from Hong Kong, they sent me a document, and that document was how beautiful Hong Kong was. So they sent a picture. Now I looked at that picture, and I said I wasn't really sure that time, but I was certain. I looked at it and I said, I'm going to get to Hong Kong in the middle of the night. I mean, in the evening, I think around 7. It was like around 7 p.m. The time that he took that picture. And I placed that picture on my vision board and I was saying, I'm going to get to this place at that time. The funniest thing was when I wanted to go to Hong Kong, my visa expired. When I got to, when they didn't, a lady didn't allow me to fly that year. I can't remember what the problem was. So my visa expired. Now, was I afraid? The answer was no. Well, I was just certain that whatever it is, I will move. I got another visa, and then there was at exactly 7 p.m. I landed the exact time that I projected on my vision board. Since that day, that was what changed the paradigm of my thinking. Now, let's give this a thought. You are aiming to be a director in a big multinational company, a big company. You want to become a director. The first thing you should ask yourself is, do you worth being a director?
The director.
Can you attain that position? Do you think you deserve it? The answer you give to yourself and your feeling at that time would determine if you can actually become a director. If you think at that point in time that you are not qualified or that position is not meant for you, trust me, um, it will take you extra year if at all you attain that level. It will take you extra effort. It will take you extra year. Now, but let's project this. If you look at it and you feel that you deserve that position and then
Mm-hmm.
you are worth more, then I can tell you categorically that you are actually worth that position. And I'm going to tell you why. Now, how many years of experience do you need to become a director? I'm putting that questions to anybody who Um, Mrs. Cooper, how many years does it
Yeah,
take to become a director in a bank?
I think about 15 years, depending. 15, 17 years, I believe. 15 years on an average.
Have you seen anyone who attained that position without 15 years experience?
Ah, definitely. I believe there should be. Definitely.
Okay,
But even if it is not up to that 15 years, to be very close, like very close to that.
okay. Now, the fact is, that's, that is humans' way of limiting
Thinking.
thinking and greatness. There was someone I worked with in UBA. I've forgotten his name now. They, that was the man. That was the man that I see that would tell me that you can attain any position you want to attain within a short period of time. I've forgotten his name now. I don't know whether maybe he's still in the bank or not, but definitely not in UBA. He became, he was able to climb the ladder in less than 10 years.
Wow.
When you say somebody has that mentality that he can attain and achieve any position or get anything done at any point in time. In fact, he put it in my head. I was still at that level, I was like, this thing is not possible. But he put it in my head
Yeah.
that you can, from this position that you are to the next level. And you can imagine as an entry point person, it was making me to pursue, I've forgotten, maybe ABU or something that year. And then he submitted my CV. He said I should wait, that he wants to carry out the experiment. I said, okay. Then he submitted my CV. I couldn't remember the bank. Maybe it was Keystone or one other bank. He submitted my CV. And then I got an invite. Unfortunately, he couldn't prepare me for the interview because he needed to meet some clients, one big client like that. So, but he just told me on the phone, when you get there, this is what you should say, and this is how you should go about it. So I
Mm.
went there. I met DMDs seated, and they were asking questions. Unfortunately, because we didn't really have too much time. I think I left the bank. I moved to another company that year. But that that experience made me realize that there is no limitation to. If I was really prepared,
Everything.
I was afraid. And he told me late. It was when later he told me I was able to move from one place to the other, and then the position, and within a short period of time, he attained certain level. Unfortunately for him, he was able to get big ticket projects into the bank, and he left one bank to the other, moved to the other, and he was able to attain that level. And he told me it is possible. So now, what it means is that if you put your mind to something, you can attain,
Yeah.
you can achieve. People will always create barriers. People will always create a cycle to make you think that this is how you should get to something. There was a story of Rockefeller, the Rock family. Now, the Rock family were the people who came up with education system, because in real sense, you don't need masters, you don't need a degree to be functional. You don't need masters. You don't even need BSc to be functional. If you are in the UK, your manager would be someone who has maybe NVQ. NVQ is like somebody who has maybe WAEC in Nigeria, WAEC. And the person would be the one managing the entire value chain system. and the level of the in-depth of knowledge and experience will beat you who has a doctorate degree.
Mm.
You will have to learn under him to be able to sustain and succeed in the system because he understand that system. Now they created that system. Now let's even look at it. They created that you have to spend the first 6 years of your life trying to learn A, B, C conjure together. Then the next thing you have to do another from JSS1 to SS3. That's about 6 years. That's 12 years of another life. Then the next thing is they created another 4 years. No, in some places 3 years. So in some places they said 4 years. So they created another 4 years. That is 6 plus 6 plus 4. That is 12, 16. 16 years. Then they now said the knowledge you have is not enough. When you go for masters, they are not teaching you anything. In fact, your lecturer is not teaching you anything. They just come, they project PowerPoints, and they refer to what you have learned, and they will tell you to go and read up. So tell me, what is the essence of the master degree? Meanwhile, a child who develops mentality and success at early stage of his life, right from that childhood, they've been able to bring their family to a stage where they believe that they can do anything. As a matter of
Yeah.
fact, they start building wealth for them right there as a child. They said the American Jewish, the Jewish Americans are the people who do not believe that poverty exists anywhere. Like poverty is not in existence. They don't understand what it is. So the only thing they know is wealth. The only thing they know is success. Anything outside that, it's not acceptable. And they carry themselves. If you are going to airport and you meet Jewish Americans
Yeah.
or even the ones in the UK or wherever they are, if you meet them, you could see that charisma and the move. You could see the courage that they believe they own the world. Until date, they still believe they own the world. And that's what they put in their mindset. That's what they put in their mentality. So it is not about their degree. They don't focus on degree. They focus on ability, the intensity. Now, you have been on a job. You have been doing a job year in, year out. Why should that job take you 15 years to now attain directorship? Because they know something. Most of you will not even wait for 15 years to even get to that level. Maybe at the end of the day, you get frustrated and you leave or jump to another company. If at all if you get to 15 years, you may not be qualified because there will be
Sure.
caucus in between that will control that system. But here it is.
Right.
It is something that we should know that every condition around you, you will be the one to determine how you want your atmosphere to be. From today, always believe that you can attain. I don't, if I'm beginning to tell a story, it will be like sounding the trumpet. But the fact is this, the moment you know your worth, the moment you know that you deserve something and you want it and you love it and you
Mm-hmm.
visualize it and you begin to practice it day in, day out, the
Yeah.
atmosphere will change and things will
Work.
begin to fall
Right.
in place. The fact is that
Right.
that atmosphere will bring the right set of people. You should be wondering. The first thing I ask myself is who are the people within my system. So the first thing I did then was I cleaned up my Facebook, my social media account, and I started adding people that were meant
To
to
be there.
drive me to success. That was the first thing. I cleaned up my
Wow.
social media account, and so that the only thing I'm seeing, the only thing I'm listening to, the only thing I can perceive are the people that are
Yeah.
achieving greatness. And that was the first
Mm.
thing. And thank God that positioning helped me to connect with one of my mentors. Till date, that was the person who trained me on now to. She just sent me a message to say, "Can you work on certain project?" We worked on a project in 2015. That was the biggest success of my life. So change the environment.
Change it.
Change your words. Never get to that point where you begin to say negative thing about you. And also, you have to own your belief. Let me tell you, you deserve every good thing in life. It does not matter whether qualification, you don't need qualification for success. In fact, you don't need qualification to become a director. The world has proven to us that people who are leading the world, they are not people who have a master degree. Some of them were dropouts. So the system was created because they wanted to control the narrative. So henceforth, it is not about the qualification per se. The environment could change. You could change the atmosphere. And listen, it is not about the fact that you are in Nigeria. In the same Nigeria today, during COVID, we worked on a project. There was a young man. The man is still in Nigeria. We're working on his project, and so I had the privilege of seeing his bank account. So I was working on the bank account. That moment that people were lamenting during COVID,
Yeah.
this guy was making over 200, 300, 400 million. That same COVID, money was exchanging hands. People were doing businesses. That same time. In fact, throughout the lockdown, we were doing business. We were Money was moving from one account to the other. It
That's
was
right.
at that period of time that I also believe that it does not matter. And also, let me tell you this: you don't have to be outside for you to
Yeah.
succeed, for you to attract favor. There are people who sit inside their rooms and who control the narrative actually in every country of the world. So I'm just telling you this. I'm not saying do not work.
Mm.
But while you
Yeah,
are
sure.
working,
Sure.
see the bigger picture. See
Yeah.
you in that place that you want to be and believe it strongly. No doubt. There are situations that want to challenge that belief system. The
Mm.
success of you attaining that position lies in you holding it dear to yourself that regardless of the situation you are going to lead. And let me also state this. I don't know whether you're a Christian or you are a Muslim, but let me state from my belief system. The Bible says the earth is of the Lord and the fullness
Fullness.
thereof. God did not, I do tell people that God did not create boundaries. God did not create boundaries. It was man made. And another thing is this: for every success you will achieve, there are people that God has created, but you have to move for
Mm.
them to move as well. And the only way you can move is for you to believe that you are going to attract good things. And he said, even the heart of the king is right in his hands, and he can control it. And another thing is, he listens, he can hear the voice of the king right in his bedroom. So if he can hear
Right.
the voice of the king, that means he knows what the king wants, and he can teach you the same thing that will help you attain your success. And also, because he owns the head and the fullness thereof, you are to enjoy that fullness, regardless of the temporary economic situation that people created. So you are not limited by the policies. You are not limited by the laws. You are not limited by anything that Tinubu or anybody is creating. I don't want to be giving you full details, but the fact is,
Mhm.
even in this Tinubu's economy,
All
people are
right.
doing great things.
True.
People are coming together to build wealth. People are coming together to build greatness. I'm going to leave you with this word today. Believe something. Why you have that belief system, don't create self doubt.
Yeah.
Mindset means that your mind is set.
It's steps.
It means that regardless of that situation, noise will come. The day you make up your mind, something would happen. Let me give you an instance. When you decide that you want to save money, you will realize that that is the time people will start calling you that somebody fell sick.
True.
That's how the world works. Now, what the world is telling you is let's check whether your mind is actually set or not. If you are able to do your part and you save what you need to save, you have passed that test. If you don't
mm,
act that way, that thing, this, it will become a cycle and it will always come like that. You will have 100 million reasons not to do what you need to do. 100 million reasons. And that is what the world wants you to do. And the reason you are not doing some things is because you feel that you don't merit it. And because you feel that you don't merit it, it will turn to procrastination. And once it turns to procrastination, the next thing is that you start dragging. And then you will come back
mm.
with story of regret. Ah, last year, and I was supposed to attain this level. In
Yeah,
fact,
yeah,
I
yeah.
always meet to this level. And that's what the world wants you to do. But you
Mm.
need to move, determine that
With your
even when you
mind.
have challenges, you are not going to talk ill about yourself. You are not going to limit yourself. You deserve good things and you are going to attain good things. Let your mind be set on that. And also believe that the earth is of the Lord and you are the fullness thereof. God has not created you for poverty or failure.
Yeah,
He has
yeah.
created you here to proclaim his name and his glory. And if you are going to
Wow.
proclaim his claim and his glory, it is not by complaint, it's by trusting and believing and holding on to his words. Then you will see that within a short period of time, from where you are to where you want to be. Thank you.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You've said a lot, definitely, that I'm sure a lot of us will still go back to it. Thank you so much. Please, if you have any question, kindly drop it. But while we're doing that, I want to ask this question because um, I know that a lot of time, you know, it's usually about the past, about things that we grew up with. And I'm sure, I don't know if there are Gen Zs on this call, but for a lot of millennials, that we grew up um, probably our parents telling us that you can be this, but don't be too this. You can be great, but you have to don't let people know. You can be tall, but don't be too tall. A lot of limiting things that they made us believe that if you are so much, there's going to be an eye on you. You have to really be. So I believe that the past and the background had affected a lot of people to the extent that now even you're afraid to succeed. Let me put it that way. So I want to ask that how can that mindset be totally corrected? How do one develop and you start getting to that point where you totally believe in yourself that yes, I deserve this, I am this, I can be this, and I need to let people know that okay, this is who I am without having to hold back because of what a one person will talk about.
Okay. So there was something that I did, and I think I mentioned part of it.
Yeah.
The first thing was I I think I wrote it. It should be somewhere on the internet. I can't remember which of the platforms. I
Okay.
did I did like overhauling. So I documented my journey.
Mm.
So I highlighted those setbacks, those bad behavior and character, those
Yeah.
things that were limiting. I turned them into a list of things. I'll probably get the link on the internet. I can't remember what I called them. It was in series. I did series one, series two,
Wow.
series. So I documented that. And the next thing was I changed my circle. I changed the people I started talking to, both on the internet. So what I was seeing on my timeline changed.
Mm.
So I suited myself with people who were
Yeah.
ready to move mountains. I had so many of them now that in my circle, in fact, there is a group where we have over 200 people. Most of them are some people that have gotten scholarship like up to almost 200 million.
Yeah.
They've
Wow.
gotten scholarship. So we formed a group. We formed a group, and we started planning on how things would change. And then
Yeah.
we had accountability group. So I personally have accountability partner. In fact, Toye was one of them. Um, Toye and Ile Mobile. So we held ourselves accountable to things. So we started following up on ourselves. We started following up. And you know, in the bio, you will see where we wrote 14 acres of lands.
Yes, I
Uh,
saw that.
we are doubling that to about 100 acres in the next 2 years. That's the plan.
Wow.
So now the kind of cycle that we have now are the people who begin to see life in a different perspective. So the first thing is I documented my trauma. I documented my
Mm-hmm.
challenges.
Documented trauma.
I documented the limiting factors to say, okay, my parents used to do this. They told me you shouldn't have too much. You will sin against God. And then
Mm-hmm.
they told me you should not do this. So I documented all those things and I began to correct them. And I realized that we then at the point we started funding mission program. So I said, if I don't have money, if I don't have much, how am I going to fund mission activities? So which means you need money to
Yeah.
actually be able to support the word of God. Say go to Judea, Samaria, and the rest of the world. Now the
Yeah.
journey from Judea and Samaria now is not by camel, it's by airplane. So now,
Yes.
the money for airplane now is expensive. So for
Mm-hmm.
that vision to come to materiality, I need money to be able to finance the kingdom. So
Yeah.
we changed that directive. So like I said, list out your trauma, understand that you have a problem. If you don't know that you have a problem, it's another problem on its own. So understand that you have a problem,
Mm.
identify your skill set. What are the
Yeah.
things that you need to get to where you are going to? So I understood that I was very good with writing. So my escape route was writing. So I started writing, I started documenting. In fact, my first book was not perfect, but I wrote it, and that was the beginning of the success story. So what I'm saying in essence is document your trauma. If
Yeah.
you can, if you need help, you might actually be able to seek help. So there is a template where we use where in mind reset, where we try to understand. And some people also hold grudges, they hold unforgiving spirit. They have unforgiving spirit. You can, for you to be able to succeed also in life, you need to learn to
Mm.
let things go. If you
Yeah.
if you have burden in your heart, there will be a bloodline and you'll not be able to see perfectly. So document your trauma, change those things. If you need to go for therapy, go for therapy. Then change the people in your group. Then have accountability partner. And another thing is every day make sure you have a to-do list. I have to-do list every day. My book is always here. I have a book where I document things overnight that I have to do tomorrow. Stick to it.
Mm.
So if you need to make a phone call, make a phone call. If you need to send an email, send an email. If you need to apply for a job, apply for that job. Whatever you need to do, just do it. Don't wait till the perfect time. You never can tell. The perfect people might not apply for that job, and you might
Yeah.
just be the best for that position. Somebody might pick something. It might be that you attended OAU, and the person on the
Yeah.
board might say, "Oh, this is OAU." It
Yeah.
might
I'm
be that you're,
alumni.
yes, it might be that because you, it has happened before. The person I was on the board to select someone, and the person who applied happens to be from Federal Polytechnic. The bias system came up straight up, and I ensured I got a job. So
I
you
get
never
it.
can tell. You never can tell. So those are the things that I think someone could do to move out of that state.
Hmm. Thank you. Thank you so much. Do we have any question? Do we have any question? I like the fact that you talked about the cycle, change your cycle, and that's what somebody commented too. Because the fact is, you can't keep the same set of people, especially you know that these people definitely you guys are not going anywhere. Like they are not rooting for you, they are not the directions are different, and then you keep keeping them in your cycle. Nothing is actually going to change. And I love the fact that you mentioned about that. So typically, what you're saying is that in your growth, there are roles that people had played. Like people played certain roles, and you know that these people, you were able to identify them. And I think that is number one thing, being able to also identify that this person is going where I'm going. This person is not going in my direction. And it's not in a place of anger or in a place of, oh, I am more than someone. Or no, it's in a place of, if I keep going with this person, there is every possibility that I might not be able to get to where I really want to get to. Thank you so much for that. I'm just looking at all the points that you've mentioned, and if there's anything I really want to ask you, probably it will be a bonus. And what do you advise people that feel stuck, right? That feel stuck in a place, or it could be in a job, it could be in it just a particular areas of their life. You know, when I was mentioning this thing to someone, and then the person told me like, oh, I think sometimes it comes with age. Like when you get to some age and you begin to realize that, oh, is it that I'm late? Is it that do you understand? So, and sincerely, by the time you meet, you can't meet somebody that is like maybe 25 years lesser, but by the time you start speaking with people that are probably more than 35, approaching 40 or more than 40, there is this feeling that always come. Am I really where I want to be? Can I still get to where I want to be? So does age plays a role in being stuck, or what can someone do? That would be like a bonus as we round up. Then we also have a question after that, and then we round up. So let's just make it quick. Thank you.
Do you want me to respond now?
Yes, please.
Okay. I'm going to say this publicly again. Um, when I was stuck and I didn't know what to do. No, I knew what to do, but
Yeah.
I didn't even have tools to do it. Now I was out of job and I was trying to put my lives together. But like I said, you need to have people in your life.
Yeah.
Um, one of the persons is this Ile Mobayo.
Don't mind him. Don't worry, Bayo. I'll bring you up one day. Don't worry. You can continue.
Ile Mobayo, Ile Mobayo gave me my first laptop. And that laptop, now, when I'm talking about people, you can't do life alone.
No, you cannot.
You cannot. And that is why it is important that you identify your own community.
Mm.
You don't belong everywhere. This is not bias. This is not to say that you don't like some people.
Yeah, yeah.
In- Now, so he said, oh, sure, I know you can do this thing. I know you can attain. I know you can succeed. The only limiting factor is that you don't have a laptop. He didn't tell me he was getting me a laptop. So he before he sent something to Nigeria and I collected it on his behalf. I gave it to some people. He now sent me another message to say there is someone that is coming. Please help me to get it. You are going to send it to somewhere. And then I went to Ikorodu. I got the laptop. As I was going, I said, please send me the phone number of the person or the address. And then he said, this laptop is meant for you. I was on the road. I was almost crying.
Oh, wow.
Then that laptop brought in the first 1 million. In fact, that laptop was the beginning of another success story on its own. From there, I started getting jobs with people, consulting for organizations, small business owners. Now, I may not, in fact, not I may not, I wouldn't have achieved that success
Mm.
easily with my phone. There was a limiting factor to it.
Yeah.
Now, because I wasn't, there was a time we were already talking about going into logistics in the US. We're saying, okay, let's buy a truck, let's do this. We're at that point that we're moving. Now, right now, there is a project we are running together, and the project is going to, and anyway, everybody's going to know about it very soon. It's going to be massive. Now, we, I'm very selective with the kind of people in the circle. We talk to people to say, okay, this person, bring this person together. When you feel stuck, check the people around you. Who are the people you have in your circle? Who are the people that when they call you, so if I call you, what am I discussing with you? It does not have, it doesn't have, in fact, at this age of hers, this is when life begins. This
Right.
is, this is, uh, I can say it anyway, it's a bragging right that God has given to us. I've been away from social media. I've been away from a lot of things. There are some things that are cooking. There are a lot of things that are cooking at this age. Then I realized that the age comes with wisdom.
Mm. Right. Right.
The
All right.
age comes with wisdom. And because God has placed people around me, we needed to develop it. We needed to develop a technology, an app. We needed to develop a web, an app, and then there is somebody in MindReset when we're saying you need to change your perspective, directive, that I made it compulsory that change what you are doing if it doesn't work. And then I listed out some skills. And I told one of them to say, I think you should go and do software development. And the person said, in fact, I've been thinking about it. And she did it. Now, when it was time, I told her there is a project we want to do. Will you be willing to come on board? And she said, yes. We completed something that will have cost us about 7 million naira in less than 2 weeks for zero equity. Now, there is another project. Somebody is already saying, don't worry, we take care of this space. We take care of this thing. These are the things that will cost us millions of naira. So what I'm saying, people around you, select people,
Yeah.
be kind, be good to people. When people know that you are valuable, give. I'm not saying overgive, but give
Yeah.
your time, give your intellect, give your thoughts to people. Let people come to you, and when they are leaving, they are happy. Now, sometimes at the same time, we always feel that we can do it all alone, and that's what is killing a lot of people. Everyone has a role to play. People are wise, and now I have people. My mentor will call me to say, Osho, I need to do something. I need to do this. And I will say, don't worry, we have someone who can do it. There was a day she said, you're a witch.
You know everyone.
And I just smiled. I
Mm.
said, well, God has helped us to build community. I know someone
That can
who
do
knows
something.
someone who knows how to do that thing. And the person, because tell them is from Osho, you are sure that you are going to get something valuable at a very
Wow.
reasonable cost.
Wow.
It's about community. So if you are
Yeah.
stuck today, change
Yeah.
your
The
circle.
comment.
Find someone who has achieved. If you know that you don't have people in your circle, go and look for a mentor or a coach that you know
Yeah.
that is doing well. I'm not talking about somebody that is just preaching. I'm talking about
Yeah.
somebody
Okay.
who has really done well in that space. They might be able to, even if you want to do a career switch, there are
Yeah.
people in that space who will be willing to give you the tips on what to do, on how to go
Mhm.
about things. And
Wow.
then don't be afraid to ask. There are people that I've never met in my life. I'll just send them an email to say, I need to do this thing. And they say, oh,
Mhm.
don't worry, we will get it sorted. And then, boom, solution comes. Send an email if you have
Wow.
to. Put a call through if you have to.
Yeah.
Talk to someone. Ask someone, please, do you know who can help me to do this? You never can tell. That person that is sitting right
Yeah.
beside you might be the only solution to take you out of that stuck moment to where
Mhm.
you need to
Mhm.
be at every point in time. And then always
Wow.
show up as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We'll ask two questions, but I don't want Instagram to throw us out of this place. Someone said, how do we overcome the fear of the unknown? And someone asked that, how do we navigate a major project when limitations are limitless and the system is not helping with the implementation of the project? I don't know if something you can answer or something you can send to me while I send to the people that asked the question. But if something you can answer briefly in less than in a minute. Yeah.
Okay. Fear of unknown,
Yeah.
do it afraid.
Right. Do it
Just
afraid.
just do it. Follow Nike. Just do it. Now,
Yeah.
for the limitation, trust me, the world will make sure that you don't succeed. That is where your
Mm.
stubbornness comes in. Pull it through. If you are getting stuck, talk to someone that you feel that could help. Discuss with someone.
Yeah.
Somebody might be able to see what you are not saying. Somebody might be able to tell you this is not the way. Why not try this? And that could be the solution to that limitation.
Very right. So you need to learn how to communicate and let and
Exactly.
even know what happens. Yeah. Wow, thank you so much. And this is where I want to appreciate everyone that joined this live section. Again, this is the first time we're joining with this new page, and I am so grateful that we even add this all of you joining tonight. Again, thank you so much for sure. I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. I am so grateful. Thank you. Thank you for joining, everybody. Thank you. Thank you so much. Mumi, Ambassador, thank you. Thank you so, so much. I appreciate everyone and watch out for another episode of Mindful Moments. See you all. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye. Thank you. Thank you so much.